Internet's internet sometimes. You know how it works.
Yep, we're back. That was just Sunday technical difficulties is all that was, but everything's good.
All right. Yeah, what I would like Seth to do is go over the fourth line. Uh, he talked about all the players that have been involved in the fourth line with Hines as coach and what Billy has done with the fourth line since the Dew brothers left. And I got to tell you, I was the president of the Dew brothers fan club way back when. And I got to tell you something. What they brought is speed up top. And for the year, they had 23 breakaways and 8 goals scored shorthanded. And we haven't seen anything like that from the fourth line since. And to give up on because they wanted some more money is ridiculous because you look at what our fourth line now is under Hines. It's the kiss of death. Um, So I'll let Seth go over some of the deals and the players who have played our fourth line the last couple of years.
And
And
the crazy part is it's only been the last couple of seasons. Like,
yep,
it's not like this has been it's not like this has been a long drawn out thing. Like, these are some of the names that have been deployed on the fourth line. So obviously, if we and let's just go to forwards here. I just got to get back to my formatted list. So in that same span, the Wild have, we're talking since the 2023-2024 season. So 23-24, 24-25, and now here in 25-26. Here are some of the names that we've seen on the fourth line. So we will start with Pat Maroon, who was brought in for part of a season. He played all over the lineup, and then ended up being shipped out to Boston. But he had 16 points in 49 games. Vinny Hinostroza has played fourth, third, second, and first line. He has 13 points in 41 games. You had obviously Murat Kuznetsov, who is now playing top line minutes for the Boston Bruins. Now, I know it's not a great Bruins team, but the point is that they're giving Kuznetsov a chance to see what he's got in that spot.
Yep.
Vinny Lettieri, who had 9 points in 46 games. You got Jakub Lauko, who I actually liked. He just couldn't stay healthy. Jake Lucchini had 5 points in 40 games. Devin Shore had 5 points in 55 games. Justin Brazo had 2 points in 19 games, and now he's got like 7 or 8 goals for Pittsburgh. Nick Petan, Brendan Gaunce, 1 point in 12 games. Tyler Pitlick, no points in 9 games. He was sent down, finally. Travis Boyd, no points in 3 games. Juju Arcera, no points in 1. Ben Jones, 32 games, no points. Reese Johnson, Adam Raska, and I'm not counting the guys that have played like 1 game here, 1 game there very much because they're getting thrown in for a game, but those are the main ones. And again, that is 3 seasons worth, and that's about 20 different players.
And what do they bring to the table? Nothing. They're all AHLers, really. And when you they brought up Ben Jones to take faceoffs. So what? He wins it. What does he bring? Nothing. Hasn't scored a point in 33 games. So why is he here? In order to win a Stanley Cup and to have a Stanley Cup contending team, you have to have 4 lines. I don't care what team has won the Stanley Cup. They don't do it on 2 or 3 lines. They do it with 4 lines. You have to be 4 lines deep to be a contender. And, one of the biggest problems I have with Hines is when you hit the 4th line here, That's the kiss of death. You're talking 7, 8, 9 minutes a game. Doesn't help the team, doesn't help the player. And it's a big problem. Hines, his time management is not good at all. And that's a big problem. As a coach, you're supposed to be coaching the players up and putting them in a position to succeed. And Hines has a real problem doing that. And I know that's pretty harsh, but that's what I see. He just he looks for a way to send the kids down. I mean, look what he's doing to Europe. He's just killing Europe now. In and out, in and out. And I don't see any reason why he should be taken out. He's a kid learning the game at the NHL level. He plays a good two-way game. He's got good speed. He's got good skill. And yet, what you get, 7, 8, 9 minutes a game when he does play? I don't understand that. You got to give the kids a chance to play. And I've gone over this before, and Hines just isn't doing it. And if you look back at Hines' coaching record with New Jersey and Nashville, it's the same thing there. I had a lot of discussions on another podcast about Hines, and they couldn't wait to get rid of him. In both Nashville and New Jersey, they just didn't, because that's just how he coaches. And, it is what it is. But we're never going to get anywhere with Hines as our coach. And, we talked about the disconnect last week. We got Judd Brackett picking these players who aren't, 6 feet and 220. And Hines looks for a way to send them down. He doesn't put them in a position to give them confidence. And that's up to the coach. That's his job, is to instill confidence in the players. And he's not doing it. Last week I talked about Z. William. In the overtime, he was nowhere to be seen. And you know what? That's the best place to put him, because he skates like Dwayne's good passer, and he's very creative. 3-on-3, you couldn't have anybody better out there, but he never saw the light of day. If you would have put him in, that would just instill more confidence in him and upped his game. But Hines doesn't do that.
You can't afford to make a mistake. Can't afford to make any mistakes at any time in the game, ever. And if one of those players that Hines routinely goes to makes a mistake, well, it's not a mistake. It's just weird. It's just weird puck luck. It's a weird puck thing that happens. It's not a mistake. It's never a mistake from them.
Yeah. And that's a problem. It really is. And then also, I wanted to go with things that I've gotten right and things that I've gotten wrong this year. At the start of the season, when the new contract came out, I really thought the 4-year deal was going to be what everybody was going to pick because of the cap going up every 4 years. Well, as it turns out, they're all taking 8 years because that gives them stability and they're set, which is smart. And it also gives the team a chance to save some money on a long-term deal. So I was definitely wrong on the 4 years. And then Trav, well, I was thinking about this the other day. I had been talking to Trav for 8 years, 3 years before Seth ever started. Back on Judd's show, we used to go back and forth all the time. And he asked me, do I still believe that the Wild are going to take first? And are they building, a championship team? Well, I got that one wrong big time. The disconnect is just too much. So I got that completely wrong too. When I looked at the team at the beginning of the year, I saw 5 kids that were going to get to play. Well, of course, that didn't happen. Pretty soon, we're going to be down to just 2, Wallstead and Zeev William, because I think
if Jesper falters, Hines is going to be licking his chops to get Cal Peterson in.
Oh God, No, Wallstead ain't gonna. Wallstead's fine.
Yeah, I thought he was great against the Islanders.
I think he's playing better than Gus Bus right now.
He
I
is.
actually, and I hope they play him more. You know, as I told you last week, Hines has lost this team, and this is a couple of ways you can tell that he has. If you look at all our top players, they're all minus 4, 5, 6, 7. The reason they're negative is because they're not back checking. They're playing, but they're not giving 100%. And that's another way you can tell that you've lost the team. Now, Suggs was a big deal, and obviously that goal from Kaprizov from Suggs was a thing of beauty.
That was insane.
Yeah, it really was. Suggs brings a lot to the table, and he's really going to help the team.
Yeah.
And he gives us a lot. He gives us more depth, and that's huge.
Well, and can I quickly interject a point that I bring up every
Sure.
time
Yes.
we get into a Zuccarello conversation?
Yes.
I think he is at points more of a leader than even some of the leadership on the team is.
I agree. You know, Zuggs has gone through good and bad times with the team. When Kaprizov got hurt a couple of years ago, and Zuggs was passing up shots. He was lost out on the ice without Kaprizov. He went through a period where he just didn't know what to do. I don't know if you guys all remember that, but he was not playing well at all. And you know, his partner's gone. He was lost on the ice. He really was. They came back last year, and he was still passing up shots, but he was getting better. And now I think he's back to normal, and he's gonna, you know, him and Kaprizov are just a joy to watch.
And you know, it's funny because, and I actually want to try to kind of dive into this a little bit.
Okay.
Kaprizov had no turnovers. First game that Zuccarello was back in the lineup. I think a portion of those turnovers are just because Kirill tries to do the same like Herculean things, and there just is nobody else on the roster that is capable of receiving those passes.
Well, that's what Zuggs is the best at. In fact, right now with our power play, if they're going to use what I call Gretzky's office, who better than to have Zuggs behind the net to give out the passes?
Yeah.
And you would see our power play get immensely better because, you know, when you're doing the power play from behind the net, you have Zuggs going back and forth, and one thing the goalie has to worry about right away is a wraparound, right? So he's got to always pay attention to what Zuggs would be doing. And you keep going back and forth, the goal is going to make a mistake. And then when you got Kaprizov and Boley out the slots, that's a dangerous combination. And I hope they start doing that because Zuggs is perfect for back there. I don't know what you think, but
I mean, it's as effective of a combo as they have, and until they actually, let's go to this. I have seen this. I've seen this comment a few times, and I think this is even more of an indictment on the decision to not play Yurov. If you are so concerned about his ability to win faceoffs, why would you not just try him at wing? Why would you not just put him at the wing position, keep him in the lineup, let him play good, defense, push on offense? I just that's further questioning that I have about the decision to pull Yurov out of the lineup for faceoffs.
Well, here's how I look at it. Even if he is the center, it doesn't matter. You can put him out on the wing for faceoffs and then go right back to your position. And a lot of people may not realize this, but excuse me, beer talking. Just because he's a center doesn't mean he has to take the face-off. Anybody on the line can take the face-off. And a lot of times they'll have two centers on the line, just, one gets kicked out, the other one comes in. But you can put him on the wing for the face-off, and then it just goes back to his natural position. Who's ever best at taking the face-offs on his line. It's not that big a deal. And, of course, as we've all stated, Hines looks for a reason not to play you. They're walking on eggshells. They're scared to make a mistake. And that's not how you play good hockey. If Hines was smart, he would tell me, you got 10 games to show me what you got. Originally I said 20. But even 10 games is enough to show what you have and not have to be worried about getting sent to Iowa for making a mistake, because everybody in hockey makes mistakes. That's just part of the game. And when a rookie makes a mistake, it's just amplified in Hines' system. And that's another reason why, where we're at.
I wonder too how much the continued, we got to make the playoffs this year. We got to make the playoffs this year. Got to make the playoffs this year. I wonder how much that kind of starts to weigh on a team, as opposed to, because like the players aren't dumb. The players know what's going on. They know the situation. I kind of wonder if just continuing to insist we have to make the playoffs, as opposed to maybe changing the messaging a little bit, is because think about this. You play all these prospects and it turns out that they're good. You probably make the playoffs anyway, as opposed to let's just rely on Ben Jones to win us one faceoff out of 2 attempts. That's his impact. That's why he's in the lineup. Like, why are we doing that?
It makes no sense to me. I've been going over this for so long, and I really try to look for good things. The one thing I notice now is they got Tarasenko on the third line with Zugs up top, and Tarasenko is actually starting to get involved more. His last game he didn't get any points, but he had 4 shots on net, and he's getting more involved. He's got 10 points, and the Wild only have 5 players with 10 points or more. And that's not nearly good enough. It's not. Yeah. And that's why I really hope that they will take a look at Cairo and try to make a deal for him, because he's absolutely available. And boy, he would, stick in the second line right away, just like that, or even the first line, depending on how the chemistry goes. But if I was Billy, I would absolutely be trying to get Cairo. He's available. He's a very good player. He's very consistent. You're looking 70, 75 points every year. And, it's just like having another Boldy. And what's wrong with that? Nothing. Because right now, the way this team stands, I don't see making the playoffs. I really don't. They have way too many, players that give you nothing. And let's talk about Mojo for a minute. In Mojo, in the last 2 years, he's scored 22 goals because he had a contract, 11 goals a year. And now he's playing the way he used to play. When he played for his country in the world, he was a beast. And now that he's on a 1-year contract, you see what he can really do. Because he's a talented player.
Mm-hmm.
But what did we get from him for the last 3 years? Nothing. He's just out there skating around. Well, now that he's playing for a contract, you see the kind of skill that he does have. And I haven't seen that since he played for, who's he for? Finland?
I think he's a Swede, but I could be
maybe
wrong.
Somebody can tell us. But I remember in the World Championships, boy, he was just a beast out there. And,
Yeah.
we never saw that. And that's work ethic. And that's the biggest problem I had with him for the last couple of years. But now he's playing for a contract, and you see the difference. He's very motivated, and he's certainly showing you the skill. And as the surprise that Seth said, Mojo, I agree completely because he's playing up to his capabilities, which
Yeah.
we haven't seen. So that's a good thing. Other than that, what else have I got here to talk? Is there anything that you guys want me to talk about or to answer his questions, that kind of stuff?
Nathan was asking if you think Foligno has lost a step or two, just doesn't seem like himself.
Well, I think Foligno needs a reset. When they stuck him up on the second line, he was so out of place, and now I'm not sure he knows where he belongs. Foligno's one of the best grinders, third liner that you could have, and you need grinders to win a championship. And he's nothing more than a third liner, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he just doesn't have good hands to play in the second line. If you watch how he receives a pass, it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But as a third liner, he's excellent. As far as for losing a step, yeah, maybe a little bit. But I think with him, more it's up in his head than anything. He doesn't know what is expected of him. Maybe that's changed now. Ideally, I would like to see Eck with Foligno and Hartman as my brief line 2.0 and let them know that's their job. Because, Eck is not a first line center. He's capable second line center, but he excels at third line. And you want to put the players in the position where they excel. And, Eck will give you a good game. But ideally, on a very good team, he's a third line center, in my opinion. And, the way Hines is moving around the players now, I mean, when they put in Damon Hunt, he looked really good out there. He looked polished. He's really upped his game. When Hunt was with us before, he's just learning to turn the play outside and closing the gaps. And he's certainly learned something from Columbus because he was playing really well, and they play one game and take him out. Damon Hunt's, I hope we keep him. I hope and they play him. I would like to see him play with Jurasek and Ogren going to St. Louis for Cairo. Honestly. Because we need help. Getting Cairo would give us 2 really solid lines. Actually, it'd give us 3 solid lines now. And that's building a contender, but I just, who knows what Billy's going to do. If you're not old and slow, you're in trouble.
Well, and for the listeners, I was telling Denny this yesterday. I saw an exchange on X between a couple of fans who were saying they don't think the Wild are even close to utilizing Juracek for his strengths. They're basically just saying, "Hey, he's big. Let's make him play big." So I'm going to look into that this week because I feel like that's got to be part of it, or it's either that or he's just not good. Like it's one of the two, and so I'm gonna try to exhaust the option A before we get to option B, because if we get to option B and it turns out he's just not a good player, why the hell did Billy go trade 4 picks for him?
That's the reason he's playing right now, because of 4 picks. Billy doesn't want to look bad. And I absolutely agree. Hines does not coach players up. He doesn't put them in a position to succeed. It's simple as that. And that's been his problem in his whole coaching career. And I brought this up before. The reason he was fired in Nashville is for not playing the kids. If you remember, he had not Foligno, but Fiala. He played him 2 games and then sent him back down to the minors. Bring him up, play him a couple games, send him back down. So we traded Granlund for him in the offseason. And look what Fiala did. I mean, Hines just never gave him a chance, and that's the same thing here. They're being mismanaged, absolutely. I agree with whoever that said, because Hines looks for a reason not to play you instead of looking for a way to improve you. And that's not changing. And
and Hines, I think the big thing for Hines too is, hey, this player's got to play this role in my system. It's like, it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you have to say, sometimes you got to say, okay, what are this player's, or at least what you should say as a coach, what are this player's strengths? How can we incorporate those? How can we maximize those? How can we utilize those to help the team and to put the best team forward? That's what the good coaches do.
Well, the best coach I ever saw in my life, New York Islanders. I'm trying to think of his name now. Oh, I've talked about him before, but he devised a system to maximize each player's to give them their best. Oh, can you look up New York Islanders from the 80s, the coach? Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting old. Oh, I should know it.
Al Arbor?
Yes, Al Arbor. He was a great coach, and he devised a system. It didn't matter if you wanted to play fast, you wanted to play slow, or you wanted to play heavy. He was just the greatest coach I've ever seen. I mean, in the Islanders, they won a couple of Stanley Cups. They had Bossy and the rest of the gang, and they just throttled the North Stars. And we need a coach like that. Like John Cooper is very close to Al Arbor. He looks at the players and he figures out where he should put them and get the best out of them. Tampa started out slow this year, but they've won like 5-6 games in a row now. They're getting it put together. And that's Cooper managing his team and being a coach. And we certainly don't have that here. I hate to keep getting on about it, but Hines has got to go. And just because we won a game, not on this show, but on another podcast, my prediction was 6-14 for the first 20. And we're already at 6, and we got 6 games left, so I'm going to be off on that one too. But Hines does not have control of this team. And when you see all your top players with a minus, that's because they're not back checking. That's because they really don't care. If they cared, they'd be back checking. And I'll give you 2 examples. If you remember Boldy last year, he won 23 games where he's lollygagging up and down the ice. Wasn't back checking, wasn't forward checking. He was just skating up and down. And you remember his mom and dad, Billy brought in his mom and dad, and Boldy had a talk with dad, and he turned his game around immediately after that. And the same with Rossi. I mean, I can see there's been a lot of, I don't know what you want to call it, but I don't think Rossi sees eye to eye with Hines at all. In fact, I think a lot of players don't see eye to eye with Hines. Last year, Foligno actually said it out loud on an interview podcast last year. I don't know if you remember that or not, but he did. He was not happy with coaching decisions. And, that's just Heinz. Eh, I just got to get out because I'm tired of talking about Heinz. God.
Well, and it's just I don't even like I still listen to them, but I don't look to pull anything out of them because it's just the same. It's the same 4 or 5 phrases every game, whether they win or lose. I mean, we had Alex and I played that game where I had post game audio from, or I had post game quotes, I should say, from different seasons. They sound exactly the same.
Yep. Oh, here's something I want to bring up. And it's thanks to you fans. I'm going to hit 30,000 views my first year, which is actually unbelievable, but it's true. As you know, YouTube a few months back gave me a lot of compliments and all the good stuff. And their analytics showed that I was going to hit between 30 and 35,000 views for the year. And right now I'm at 10 months and I'm almost at 30,000. And so thank you, fans, for taking the time to listen to me rant and rave. But
And I don't believe that has ever been done.
no,
I would have to have the numbers in front of me, but I don't believe that has ever been accomplished.
Well, they told me it's never been done. You had what, 5,000-6,000 your first year?
If that.
Yeah, and that was exceptional. And if you look at what's her name from Soda Pod, Jessie. Jessie, her first year didn't even have 3,000 views, and Soda Pod didn't have come close to anything. And now my numbers, I'm averaging almost 1,000 views a show, and I'm going to hit 30,000 for sure. And I got to thank the fans because whether you agree with me or not, you still listen to what I have to say. And, like I said, last week I had 127 comments on a show where Judd's with 38,000 subscribers doesn't get close to that. So that's a good thing, because one thing, if you write a comic, you're getting an answer from. Yeah, that's interaction. And that's what my show's about. And I got to tell you another thing. I'm hiring 2 kids from Hennepin County Tech School for the AI program, because I can no longer afford the program that I was going to go with. I just, being cut on money, I can't afford it. So I basically just gave away $1,000. But I've talked to a couple of teachers and I've interviewed a few of the kids, and you're going to see a lot more of the Hanson brothers in times coming up. I've always wanted to talk about the game within the game. And that's what I'm shooting for. And with the new AI programs out there, it's going to happen. I don't know how soon, but it is going to happen, because I would love nothing more than to teach you what the 2 and 2 is, the 2-3, the 1-3-1, because a lot of people really don't understand what's going on. And by doing that, when you watch a hockey game, you just automatically see what the players are doing and why they're doing it, because every player out there has a job. The Wild use a 2-on-2, which is a very aggressive forecheck. A lot of teams use it. And to be able to show you what they're supposed to do, what they do, and how they achieve that is going to be a beautiful thing, because, I've talked to a lot of people in hockey, a lot of fans from other podcasts. They have no clue. And I really believe our fans are some of the smartest in podcasts there is. We have some exceptionally gifted hockey minds, from Trav, MPH, Bob, Hoyston, John. There's a lot of very intelligent hockey people on this show. And I certainly do appreciate it. Whether you agree with me or not, it doesn't matter, because most people don't anyway. But it's all good. I mean, when I started doing this show a year ago, it gave me new life. And the reason I'm doing it was always to help Seth. I'm the only podcaster on YouTube that doesn't get any views. It's because I got it set up so it goes to Lockdown Wild. If you were to put "What the hell are you smoking?" you see nothing. You have to go to Lockdown Wild to see my show, and it was designed that way. And Seth has hit 1 million views now, and I can remember his first show. There was 6 of us for his very first show, and that included Trav and John and a couple other, I don't remember their names, but he had 6 people for his very first show. And now look at him, he's going to be averaging 2,000 views a show here shortly. And hats off to Seth, because he's a talent, and I'm so glad I can help him get there. Now, question and answer time. Give me some comments if you have any.
Oh, we got some good ones here. Glenn's
Okay,
got a
let's
list.
go.
Glenn's got a list. We're going to go through player by player.
Okay.
Glenn says this is kind of an overhaul, but these players need to be traded while they still have some value left. Starting with Joel Eriksson Ek.
Depends what you get for him. Would I trade him? How many years do you have left on his contract? 2?
I believe 2. I am looking it up right now. Ek has, he has 3 left after this year.
3 years at what?
5.25.
That's really a good deal. It all
It's a
depends what you
bargain.
get for him. Yeah, that would be a hard one unless you're really getting something in return, because Ek is a very steady, reliable player. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, and I would contend, I think you got a glut defensively, because you got Faber and Zeev that will be kind of the forefront of the defense going forward.
Yes.
Actually, honestly, I think you could look to get prospects on both sides of the puck if you make some of those moves. I'll never say no to offense, but another blue liner or 2 wouldn't hurt. I think you just gotta build organizational depth in any move.
Well, with Ek, it all depends what you get back for him. I mean, the only one who's not tradable on our team are Boldy, Rossi, and Kaprizov. That's it. That I just would not trade, period. You're going to see Rossi take off this year. This is his 3rd year. He's just getting going.
I don't worry. Those guys that have done it the last couple of years, Rossi, Boldy, I don't worry about them as much. It's the guys that are thrust into the high leverage spots that have not produced at that level. Those are the guys I get concerned about, because it's like, well, you're expecting a player to be able to fill this type of a role when they have never done it in their careers. Good luck.
Yeah. Next player.
Next player is Marcus Johansson.
If I could move him, I would. I'm not a big fan of Mojo. He clearly doesn't have the work ethic that I would like to see in a player. I know he's playing his heart out right now, which gives him value, and that's why I would move him, because you could probably, you get a decent return on him.
Oh, next. Yeah. Like if you would, hey, here's one right now. I'll just throw this out there. Washington. They could certainly use some depth.
Yes, and who will we get back? One of the Dew brothers plays for him right now, don't they?
Yeah, Duhaime does.
Yeah, get Dwayne back in a trade? Hell yeah, I'd do that in a heartbeat. We got to get the Do brothers back and put Hinostroza on the fourth line, and that would be a fourth line.
Put Hinostroza in Iowa. He's a fine player, but like again, what are you getting? I am frankly, all right, now it's rant time for me. I am frankly tired of building a roster that is one or the other. Like it is a roster that is full of either players that give you offense or players that give you defense. You can find both. You can draft players that can do both. You can sign players that can do both. You can trade for players that can do both. Like Billy said it himself, and this line drives me nuts, but he said it himself. We can't afford to have specialists on this team. You have an entire bottom six of specialists.
We have 9 bottom 6, actually. Well,
Like,
actually 7 now.
I'm just so sick of trust me, bro. I know how to build a roster that can compete in this age of hockey. Trust me, I can do it. I know how to do it. It's like, no, you don't. Like, this team needs to get with the times. Like, they need to find a way to match what other teams are doing offensively, and they just refuse to do so.
All right, next player.
Spurgeon.
Well, I know everybody hates on Spurgeon, but I'm going to tell you something right now. On this team, when you look at what Spurgeon does, I know he's a little undersized, but he makes up for it in so many ways. And when you talk about the most important pass coming out, the first pass or the outlet pass, he's the best we have. Would I trade him? Well, it all depends what you get for him. I mean, I'm open to trading any player. It all depends on what you get for him. And Spurgeon is a really underrated defenseman. I know nobody likes him, but I love him. He closes down. He turns it out. His stick is always breaking up 2-and-1s. And those aren't the things that they talk about. That's what he's so good at.
Yeah.
And,
I will try to clarify the point. I don't think it's so much Spurgeon hate. I think it's a concern to get saddled with the remainder of that contract if he were to get injured again. I think the majority of people just are wondering, is it time to move out from under that contract so you don't get stuck with it for the remainder of the deal?
What's he got left? 2 years?
He has he has 1 year left after this year.
Yeah.
7.575.
Yeah, and that's a deal for what he brings to the table. You know, it all depends. I'm open to trade anybody but the top 3. It all depends what you can get back for him.
Yeah.
Next player.
Jonas Brodin.
Now, there's another one that nobody likes because he's been hurt. Jonas Brodin is an excellent defenseman. I mean, he's top tier. Just ask the best player in the world what he thinks of Brodin. Do you realize that Connor has 6 points in 3 years against Brodin? That's how good Brodin is. Think about that for a second. And, you know, as I've said before, breaking up Brodin and Spurgeon is a real problem with me. Middlestad should be up on top with Faber because those two together, they just click. They have very good chemistry. You know, when you saw last year how he was, Minnesota was pinching and going and scoring goals, that was from confidence and knowing your partner and what to do. Right now, he's not doing that because he doesn't have the confidence, and that's coaching. Hines has to put him back up with Faber, put Spurgeon and Brodin back together. That's 2 very, very good defensive lines. Will that happen? Probably not, but if I was coach, that's what I would be doing. Next.
Marcus Foligno.
Who do you think would want to trade for him? a cup contender and needs a third line grinder.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends what you can get for him. I mean, I'm not opposed to trading him. It all depends on what you can get. I mean, I think Foligno just needs a reset. He's got to get his mind right. And it's simple as coaching decisions that have got Foligno screwed up right now. Although he's been playing a little bit better as of late, I think he's kind of lost where he's supposed to be in a position for this team.
I did not get a ton of chance to watch the Islanders game, but I do believe the fourth line combination was Urov, Foligno, and Trenyan, I think, which is I mean, personally, I would rather see Urov with a little more skill. But honestly, I don't hate that. That is more of a fourth line than the Wild have had since the Dew brothers.
Yeah.
And shocker, Danil Urov scored in his first game back in the lineup.
Yeah, I imagine that. Yeah. Well, you know, when they dropped Tarasenko down to the third line, they moved him down to the fourth line, which gives us more depth, and you know, that's a good thing. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to trade. It all depends on who you can get for him. I mean, he's got a position on this team where you need grinders like Foligno to win championships.
Yeah.
And I want to build a team that's a championship contender, period. You know, we got a lot of fourth line players on our team that have to be moved. You know, and you look at Trenyan. What you got? 2 years left on his deal?
Yes.
Yeah, that's another of Billy's deals. Oh, last week when I talked about Billy's deals for the last 3 years, I did come up with one good one, and that's when he traded. We got 2 picks from him. They traded him to Buffalo. Greenway.
Oh, Greener.
Yeah, that was a good deal for us because we got a second round pick for him, and he's doing the same thing he did here. You know, he's a big boy who plays soft, and yeah, they can have him. But that's the only deal in the last 3 years. And you look at Billy's last deal for Jurasek, that's a disaster. Even though he's playing, I don't see Hines doing anything to help him improve his game. He doesn't put him in a position to succeed, and that's just how Hines operates.
I think too, with Juracek, Billy just salivated at the size that he has and says, "Oh, we can turn him into a Middleton." It's like Middleton has always been more of a defensive defenseman. Like he's never been a big offensive guy. To Middleton's credit, he has developed some offensive game. Yeah, but Billy just saw the size and he's like, "Oh, big defenseman. We can shape him into a big bruiser." Like Juracek is an offensive defenseman. Yes, he has plenty of things that he needs to work on, but trying to make him hit people. Trying to make him a defenseman that hits people and is like a stay-at-home defenseman. Come on. What are we doing here?
You got it. Next player.
Yeah, now I'm getting angry. I'm telling you, folks, and I will say too, the Islanders game was actually fun from what I saw. Because that was one of the first games that the Wild have had in a long time where they actually controlled throughout.
The whole game.
That's the big thing, is they were able to control the action throughout. It was never really in doubt, and they actually had some fun out there on the ice. Zuccarello and Kaprizov. It was actually fun and pleasant to watch, as opposed to what we have seen through the early part of the season, where it's mostly just miserable.
Yeah. I agree.
I had some people who were saying that the show got a little too whiny because I was not giving credit after the win against Nashville. I just would like to throw out for the group here. Did anybody think the Wild played well against Nashville? I didn't.
I didn't. And they were lucky to win because he didn't score a goal. They just gave it to him.
So that's my big thing is when credit needs to be given, it will be. But like I'm not just gonna hand out praise because if this team is trying to be a playoff team, you got to raise the standard. If you want to just be a fun team that wins every now and again, then yeah, we can change our tune to that. I can do that really well. But if you want to be a playoff team, you can't afford to you can't play like that and expect to win. It's that simple.
All right, let's get back to the question and comments here.
Yeah, rant over. Sorry,
It's all good.
This is season 5, year 4 that I have been covering this team. So I think I have seen enough to be able to talk about what is going on and what isn't. Let's get to this from King Frenzo. Would you get rid of Trenyan and put Tarasenko on the 4th line if we get a top 6 player?
Absolutely. Boy, that would give us some depth then. Now we're talking. I like your idea. Next.
I got to go back and find it. There was a good one about moving Middleton in a Tage Thompson trade.
Tage Thompson is not getting traded.
Yeah.
He's got, Buffalo's got him on a hell of a deal, and he's still got 4 or 5 years left on his contract. Tage isn't going anywhere.
Yeah. Another thought on Eck. I'm a big Eck fan, but he's been getting hurt a lot, and his body's taking a beating, just like with Parise.
Yep.
Frankly, worse than Parise, just because of what the team's asking him to do. They are just asking him to take a pounding on a nightly basis.
That's why I like him in the 3rd line, because it takes a lot of that away.
So this is another interesting thing. Like I had a friend ask me this, like, how would you build this team? How would you build this team if you had the opportunity to do so? I'm going first 3 lines. I feel like the Wild have to get back on the speed train. They got to get to the point that they have overwhelming speed. And if you want a 4th line that's a change of pace, kind of hit you hard line, sure, I'll grant you that. They got to get back to that speed. They got to have the overwhelming speed and the skill to where they do like Carolina did. I love what Carolina brings to the table because they overwhelm you. They overwhelm you every time you have the puck.
Yeah, same with New Jersey. Look what the Devils did to us. That was all speed and skill. And the one thing we're lacking is speed and skill, as Seth says. Next player. Next comment.
Players we got through that whole thing. Andy wants to know, Trenyan's the only player who's played every game and isn't a minus other than Johansson. That's exactly what a bottom 6 guy is. What is he not doing that you expect him to do?
Well, he just doesn't have that much talent. You saw him rise to the top in the playoffs last year, right? And everybody expected to see that this year. You haven't seen any of that. Trenton's a hard one to figure out. He's lost weight. He's skating better, but he's not getting any results from it. He's just a grinder.
He's a surplus.
Yeah.
He's a surplus in an area that you didn't need a surplus in, is about the most succinct way that I can put it. He was brought in, I firmly believe he was brought in as injury insurance for Marcus Foligno, and then Foligno didn't get hurt.
That's a good point. Trenton could replace Foligno, no problem. He's a good skater and he's a very smart player.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I like about Trenyon. But that's all he is he's a grinder.
Yeah.
And that's that. Next question or comment.
John, if the Wild make a trade, it needs to be for a second line scoring piece or a big, tough defenseman.
Were you not here at the beginning of the show and I said we should pick Jordan Kyrou? He's available. We need to get him. 35 goal scorer every year. He's got wheels. He's got speed. He's got skill. And boy, he would cure a lot of our ills. And
yeah, John was not here at the beginning of the show, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So at the beginning of the show, I brought up, what would you give up for Jordan Kyrou? And I said Ogren and Jurasek. And I know, has anybody said yes or no or agreed with it or not? I don't know.
Predominant number of the comments say that it would take you more than that.
Well, it all depends what they want. I would certainly give up a pick or another player, no problem.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get players like Kyrou very often, and St. Louis is disbanding the team, it sounds like now. And you can have your pick of players, but I love Jordan Kyrou. Jesus. He skates like the wind, too, and he's got a hell of a shot. He's very creative. He would cure a lot of our ills if we could get him. And if it take another player or a pick to get him, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Next.
If we can put Eck, Foligno, and Hartman on the third line, who would you put on the first, second, and fourth? Ideal roster.
Rossi, Kaprizov, Zuggs. That's number one. I would put Urov with Ogren and Hunter Haight on my second line. I'm not kidding. I would do the kid line and see if they have for at least 10 games. I really would. We got to see what the kids can do, and they're not getting it. So, you know, it is what it is. I like the fact that they moved Tarasenko down to the third line because that creates depth. Because, you know, he's got 10 points, and he's getting more involved in the game. I think he forgot about that for a while. You know, I talked about him last week, that he was not engaged in the game as much as he should be because, you know, he's a smart player. And he's been around a long time, and he knows what to do. He just wasn't doing it. Now he's getting more engaged, as John was talking about. I got to tell you, when I talked about Tarasenko and I said engaged, the very next show Judd did, he must have said engaged about 50 times. I find that hilarious because he's never used that word ever until I said it. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Right now, we're still a mess, even though Zuggs is back, and that helps us greatly. We just have so many fourth line players.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And that's why I really hope they go after Kyrou because, boy, he would cure a lot of our ills. That would give us 2 scoring lines. And then they can't, you know, when you have just 1 scoring line, it's so easy for a good team to put the stop up on. It would make the Wild so much better if we had a second line that could score. And so for right now, well, what they got? They got Eck, Mojo, and
Boldy.
It's not bad, but I don't think Eck is a second line center. Really, ideally, he's a third line center. But who do we have to replace him?
That's the thing.
They're not going to put Europe up there, even though I wish they would. So it is what it is. You got to go with what Hines is doing.
Well,
for the fourth line, We got Yeroff, Hinostroza, and I guess Trennian. I mean, what do we have to pick from? And believe me, I like Hinostroza. He brings a passion to the game. He's a spark plug out there, much like Lauko was. And, who's the other player you brought up that was a fourth liner that brought a lot? Shaw.
Yeah.
All the same kind of player. They don't have the skill set to score a lot of goals, but they bring something to the team that we don't have. That's why I like him, Strohs, and I'm so glad he finally scored a goal because he's had so many chances. He just missed on them.
Yeah. They you need your fourth line to be, I think the term that I used was a flashbang. You need it to be an immediate impact. You need it to be one that takes the opposing team off guard. Whatever that ends up being, it needs to be something that can give you a quick impact when they come on the ice.
Now, with me for the fourth line, I like speed. Remember with the Dew Brothers, as we talked about, they had the rockets on their skates and they could move, and that's why our penalty kill was so good back then. We scored eight shorthanded goals with the Dew Brothers. That's the last time we've had a fourth line, and
yeah,
if we could get them back, I'd do that in a heartbeat too. Next question.
Well, and you think about this too. It's a math problem. Like, what you need to be able to do something to impact the game in about 30, 40 seconds on that fourth line. And what's the best way to do that is some sort of a burst of speed.
There you go. Yeah, I like my fourth line to have speed. And that's what the Dew Brothers brought, and that's what we've lacked ever since.
There have been a couple of questions asking about what's going on for the game against Chicago.
Well, that's my birthday game. In fact, I'm putting in my first time to be what do you call it when you go up in the
credentialed?
Yes. So I can actually be called a credentialed. Because that would mean a lot to me. And I'm putting in, it's the 28th in Chicago. And we're definitely going to do a meet and greet. You want to have a beer, maybe a shot. Last year it turned out really well. And this year I've already had several people say they want to meet me. Hey, I'm all for it. And I don't know. Seth, are you going to be there or not? Do you know?
I am planning to be, barring anything that comes up unforeseen. I don't know what our playoff schedule will be like for high school sports at that point.
True. But at any rate, I definitely will be at Zamboni's. And hopefully I will be up in the press box with my binoculars looking at the game, because I look at the game differently than most people. I don't follow the puck. I follow the players without the puck, and that's how I tell whether they're good or not. And that's another thing I'm going to talk about in shows down the road, is how to look at how good players are. Just because when they don't have the puck, you can learn a lot by how good they are by what they do without the puck. And I'm gonna get into that more down the road, hopefully with my new AI program coming up. But yeah, 28th is definitely set. Bob is coming down from Grand Forks, and I have a couple of people who they actually want to meet me and get my autograph. I can't believe that. That's something. But yeah, 28th, Zamboni's. No problem. If you want to come, more the merrier. We'll have a big party. Hey, because it's my birthday. I'm going to be 71. I'm feeling good.
Do it up big.
And that's the whole plan. Next question or comment.
We'll go to this one. Could Billy be scared of going for a big center or winger? Seems like he would rather trade for someone who is cheap capital-wise rather than someone who can actually score. It's not wrong.
Well, we're going to have at least 10 million to spend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go big. The way this team is set right now, I don't think we make the playoffs. You know, at the beginning of the season, before anybody played, I told you Utah was going to take somebody's place. It very well could be the Wild. I'm very high in Utah. The 4 line's deep. They probably could use one more defenseman. Other than that, they are loaded up. You know, they went in, they beat Colorado, then they went into Winnipeg and beat Winnipeg. What does that tell you about Utah? That was statement games right there.
Yeah,
they're that
I had
good.
them. I had them at number 2 in the power rankings yesterday.
Yeah, and then I also said that Chicago is going to be at least 20 points better. Well, they're definitely going to be 20 points better. That team is loaded up. They got so much talent. So I got those two right anyway, at least for right now. But I don't see Chicago may make the playoffs too. I mean, they have so much talent. I mean, even their picks in their farm club, they're like Utah. They just a lot of talent, and the picks they're picking exceptional. But they've gone through a lot of tough times to get to that point. Next.
We have, I think we're up over an hour. It's about 1:15, a little after.
Oh wow. This is our longest show ever.
We went long, but
that's okay.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I like when the conversations are. Oh, and Ron has another good one too. Anaheim.
Okay.
The Anaheim Ducks. First in the West.
Yep.
How about that?
Well, I didn't talk about Anaheim on this show, but I did talk about Anaheim on another different podcast. And I told them when they got Kreider, they just made a huge improvement. You know, Kreider's #1 in the NHL for net front presence. And that's why I keep asking us to get Anders Lee, because he would give us net front presence, which we sorely lack right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got Eck up there doing it. Eck is not built for that. And, you know, the way Anaheim's playing, they're a beast. And I really like their chances. They're loaded up. And when they got Kreider, that just cemented their team. Because, you know, I was hoping that we could trade for who was the player that held out all year? The kid. Oh, I forget his name.
What was that guy's name?
Oh, I can't think of it.
He's from he was from Columbus, right?
No, Anaheim.
Oh, he went to Philly.
No, he's playing with Anaheim. He signed,
McTavish.
Yes.
McTavish.
Yes,
guys.
McTavish.
My brain is after all the games that I've done the last 3 days, my brain is mush.
Yeah, I mean, Anaheim is they made some good choices, and getting Kreider was the biggest one because that has improved their team significantly. They're a threat. They really are. Is that it?
Let's end with one from Jay, who asked if tonight's game is a must-win for the Minnesota Wild.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitive.
We're 6-10.
Yeah.
You know, think about this. In 16 games, we've won 6. What does that tell you? Every game's a must-win for us.
And Calgary's had their number. Calgary beat the brakes off of the Wild last year.
Yep. They're very defensive detailed. They have a problem scoring goals, which they have had for the last couple of years. You know, they got Kadri and oh Jesus,
Huberdeau.
Huberdeau. but they don't play the style that Huberdeau excels at. And that's coaching problem also, which is going to come to a head, I think, in Calgary. But yeah, if the Wild win that one, I'll be impressed because they have such good defense. Oh. Other than that,
Yeah, and it's a Calgary team that has pretty much straight up bullied the Wild the last few times that they've played them. So
yeah,
if we see the Wild just kind of turtle in this game, I'm gonna be livid because you know it's a big game, and if you just kind of turtle and take it, that's not the mark. That's not the mark of a playoff team in my eye.
well, if we lose to Calgary, it's because the players are just not. They're not connected with Hines. All our players are a minus, except for Trennan and who else did he say? I
JoJo.
forget. JoJo, yeah. That's not a good sign. That means the team is not back checking. And that's because they don't give a shit, honestly. And so we'll see. We should beat them, but that doesn't mean anything. We've only won 6 games out of 16. That has to tell you something. And with that, we're going to end the show. And this has really been a joy. This was really, I like the show a lot. And I hope everybody enjoyed it. And with that, we'll see you next Sunday. Seth?
We may have to do a Monday show next week. But I'll have that firmed up by probably Tuesday.
Okay. So we don't know yet about my next show, but thank you, everybody. You know it means a lot to me. This is my whole life. It's all I have left in my life. And I enjoy the shit doing this. I really do. And we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.